Mark,
Hey, Paul.
what are you looking at?
These awesome lenticular covers. I'm more drawn to them than the cat is to a laser pointer.
Squirrel. Um, yeah, they are really nice. I'm kind of torn between those and the Bjorn Barons
Oh yeah, the connecting
cover
cover.
that they're doing.
Yeah.
Exactly, that they're doing. So they're really hitting it on these Titans Beast World one. But we're going to talk about issue 2 of Titans Beast World, and also we're taking our next stop on our world tour. We'll stop in Gotham this time. We'll do all of that right after this. So here we are. It is the DC Comics Deep Dive again. I am Paul. He is Mark. Before we get any further, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit it is Christmas time, so hit the notification bell so you get a nice. There you go. So
Merry Christmas! It's
there you
Monday
go.
when this airs, right?
It is, but it'll actually be a week before Christmas when this
Merry
airs.
week early Christmas.
That's right. But we'll have an episode coming out on Christmas too. So don't go away. Don't go away. But make sure you hit the notification bell so you can get in the Christmas mood. It'll you can do all the rings and everything. And of course, leave a comment. We love to read your comments. Tell us how we're doing. What would you like us to do next?
Unless we're doing bad, keep that to yourself.
Exactly. Sure. But we have 2 more entries. Actually, we have 3 more entries if you include one of the backup stories in Action Comics. We actually have 3 entries into our DC Comics deep dive on Titans Beast World this week. But we're going to start with the Titans Beast World proper story. The issue number 2 picks up pretty much almost exactly where we ended at issue number 1.
Didn't miss a beat. We're floating in space, looking at Raven, collecting the wreckage that was the fallout from Dr. Hate showing up at the battlefield, rebooting Cyborg and trying to lick their wounds and figure out what just happened.
Correct. And to make sure that TM Nerdy was happy, we did throw in Animal Man.
Yeah, we had a full page of Animal Man. I love that they're addressing that this event, that this giant Starro made of Gar is absolutely affecting the Red or the animal kingdom. You see its avatar, Animal Man, sitting there just can't even get himself together. His senses just overloaded with the introduction to millions of new living creatures on the earth, just sensory overload. But that makes me think they wouldn't have shown us that for nothing. I'm hoping that Animal Man is about to be the GOAT of this event. Like he's the wild card that shows up and just shuts stuff down by the end.
Correct. And if you had Animal Man as Dr. Hate in your office pool, that's out.
Yeah, I think that was me.
Yeah. it was a good thought. And you know what? Yeah. But to your point, the fact that I agree with you, I think he's going to play a huge part in what's going on here. So he could have gone either way. Maybe he's the guy who saves the day, or maybe he was Dr. Hate. He could have gone either way. But you call the fact that Buddy Baker would show up here at some point. So
yeah, I thought that was a good guess. I still think it has to be somebody tied to the Parliament, though. Mm-hmm. I mean, God, what if it's Solomon Grundy at this point?
Yeah.
I'll switch somebody else. I'm going with Grundy until it's not.
There you go. And then we see Batman and Nightwing, which I got to say, I just love Ivan Rice's art. It's just so clean and so
consistent, dynamic, and clean.
Exactly. So they're battling each other, and at some point, the spore infects Batman, and he literally turns into a Batman or a Man-Bat or a wolf. Hellish version of the other Man-Bat.
Yeah, Batman turns into a wolf.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah, they're sitting there trying to save civilians left, right, and everywhere else, and they get attacked by a giant snake person. And in the process, we have discovered that the spores are attracted to the strongest individual in their proximity. So if they have infected someone and they run into, say, Superman, the spores are going to try to jump into Superman and so forth down the line. So when this civilian who was infected gets into a skirmish with Nightwing and Batman, it quickly recognizes Batman as an alpha of the group and jumps over to Batman, and he has a whole werewolf transformation scene, which is really cool, giving us a full page splash of him just roaring, growling with like ears. He still has his pointy ears, which is
Hmm.
cool. But he is
Right.
it is wild.
Yeah, it is, and it's funny I don't, because I was thinking to myself as I was reading. I don't know why that wasn't bad, but because if you take a look at the two figures that we have seen so far
The
that have
ears.
changed, right? We saw we saw Batman turn into a wolf because he's the alpha of his group, right? His family,
Mhm.
and we saw Black Adam turned into a lion who's like the king of his pride, like
Yeah.
Kandak, right? So it's like they're kind of, the animal that they turn into kind of fits into their whole persona as
And
well.
that thought process will get backed up a little bit too when we get into the other book and we see something. Now that you mentioned that,
Correct, correct. And then we get our Amanda
Oracle.
Waller.
Well, it cuts
Got
over to Oracle
Yeah,
monitoring the
right,
whole situation and everything, and just like putting out the worldwide alert and everything. And then that's when they notice, oh my God, Kandak.
right,
And we cut over to Black Adam, who looks like he's wrecking house,
right.
absolutely wrecking house. Yeah, Donna Troy and
Starfire.
Starfire heading over there trying to shut him down and slow him down. It's not working. It's not
Right.
happening. Batman and Nightwing are battling it out while he's trying to understand what's going on, and Batman gets a good slash on him, and then they take off and fall into the river. Then you realize that Donna Troy and Starfire, massive big hitters, are fighting Black Adam over a heavily populated area with tons of infected people, and Oracle's trying to update them on the intel, like, yo, these spores are coming for a power source. And about the time that they get this information, you get a shot of like the population looking up at the battle, and they just open their mouths and the spores just go up and surround Donna Troy and Starfire.
Right, and then we cut to our favorite villain of the moment, Amanda Waller, who's with Peacemaker and Doctor Hate. So at least there's been some sort of a detente or whatever declared between Doctor Hate and Amanda Waller because he went off the reservation and went on his own earlier.
Yeah, he went for the Parliament.
Hmm.
And now this that did take place before this issue, correct?
Yes, I
Okay.
believe so. Yep. Yep.
So yeah, now it's like he pointed out. I do like the dialogue where he points out, like, "Yo, like, why are you going to blame me for anything I do? I'm literally the Lord of Chaos.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
like, what do you expect? I'm the like, it's chaos. You want to get chaos from me? You want chaos? I got you. You want order? Go talk to the other guy, the other doctor, not me."
Right. And Waller ends up talking to the president with Peacemaker, and basically goes in and asks for basically carte blanche. I do whatever I need to do to get this resolved.
The president wasn't really on board understanding the dangers of Amanda Waller and the capabilities of Amanda Waller, but hey, when your wife's an otter in the other room,
Yeah,
sacrifices must be made.
exactly.
Yeah, the president's wife apparently is infected, and she
Right,
is currently an otter in the
right.
other room, like eating crackers or
She,
something. It was,
she makes a hell of a dam, but that's all she's good for
yeah, it
right
was
now.
funny. Do you
Yeah.
really want the planet in the hands of groups of 20 somethings? So I do like that, like they were kind of playing into the Titans event here. You get some dialogue kind of pointing out, like, why would we trust the Titans to be our front runners here? We need to take control of our own fates with this. Give me what I need. I'll handle this.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And then we get a one last page where basically Nightwing is putting out the call again. He needs some help, and he needs a cage because he has captured the Wolf Batman. So
Yeah, they fell into the water. They
right.
emerge, and Nightwing's dragging him out. Which I'm
Mhm.
like, all right, I'll give it to you. He's a wolf.
Yeah, it was kind of a weak ending. I thought. I mean, each of these, should kind of end on a more, I thought, dramatic type of an ending. Um,
Yeah.
but again, we'll only have to wait 2 weeks for us to see issue number 3. Um,
All in all, though, that was a fantastic issue for this being an event. It feels like an event. It's
mhm.
fast paced. A lot's happening. Big stakes are happening, showcasing a great cast of characters. The whole corniness of people turning into animals doesn't seem very corny anymore.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
they managed to make it feel more serious, which is awesome.
Right, and in the second main issue, which was Titans Beast World Tour Gotham, um, we hey, there you go. We basically explore Gotham, and we also kind of also take a look about. I mean, it doesn't feel weird that people are turning into animals, but what about the people that are already kind of like the villains that are already kind of part animal? Like your Killer Crocs and things like that. And that's where we go in the first story of this.
Yeah, we get like 4 or 5 stories in this one,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
There's a good
exactly.
number. Yeah, it
Right.
picks up right where Beast World 2 ends off. You see
Mhm.
Nightwing dragging Batman, trying to get him away from the city somewhere to deal with him, whatever. And Batman wakes up and a small skirmish ensues. Batman gets away from Nightwing and he just assumes, like, dude, if he's in there anywhere subconsciously, I know where he's going. He's just going right back to Gotham. Cut to Gotham. Streets are on fire. Buildings are crumbling. People are animals everywhere. And Killer Croc does not like the look of this. They're taking his gimmick, and there's only enough room in this city for a one-man animal hybrid. So he goes out there and starts battling it out. Some really cool shots. The artwork is solid. And then we get the upgrade. The Spore recognizes Croc as a more powerful entity,
Mhm.
jumps in and cut to Batman. He's in
Right.
Gotham now, cleaning up his city, killing savagely, killing looters, just taking them out. Nightwing shows up trying to find him, has to stop and address the Killer Croc situation. And he's not just any Killer Croc, like Paul pointed out. He's an upgraded Killer Croc. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's meaner, and he actually has an elongated crocodile or alligator head because we never truly know the difference. At least Nightwing does it.
Mhm.
A really cool fight ensues, and then Batman comes flying down from the rooftops to ultimately take out Killer Croc. And that's when we realize that Batman is in there subconsciously. He's able to take Croc down. Nightwing's able to stop him from killing him and then run for his life again because now he's the subject of Batman's feralness.
Right.
Nightwing shuts him down with a nice little jolt of electricity and then puts him in a cage that's at the Gotham City Zoo, which he's sure Batman will be fine right there because after all, he's still a good boy.
Exactly, which was the title of the story. Chip Zdarsky, we had mentioned in last week that the writer of at least one of the main titles of whatever city they happen to be in is contributing to these world tour stories as well. So that's Chip Zdarsky one, and then we get a story from the very well known Grace Ellis. Go ahead.
Oh, Grace again?
Yeah, exactly. It's a Harley Quinn story this time, though. Harley Quinn as a very large rabbit or bunny.
Yeah, it's fun the way they framed this one, though. It really was. It's just this is a simple conversation between a low-level street thug and a therapist. He's explaining how he's like scared that it's watching me. It's been chasing me. Whenever he gets his orders from his boss that day, he goes out to complete his tasks, and he can't help but feel like something's watching him. And you see a foot thumping.
Hmm.
When he's doing this, that, or the third, he sees a shadow outside the window, the creature on the building, and it's just causing mass paranoia. And his doctors is chalking him up, just needing to be hospitalized, having paranoia, schizophrenia, all this, that, and the third. And then, boom, busting in the door is none other than what he claims to be fearing. And it's Harley Quinn Bugs Bunny mashup. Comes in there and just simply steals his telephone. That's all Harley does. Comes in there, intimidates the doctor, intimidates the street thug, and then hears the buzzing of his telephone, looks at it, he gives it to Harley, she runs off and takes it back to Poison Ivy, where we find out that it was all just a ruse to steal some intel from the bad guy.
Hmm.
Super lame. Fun in a sense, but they sandwich like some really dynamic, good stories between some really just playful ones. I guess that's
Hmm.
what you got to do. It's an anthology style book, so kind of works out.
Right. And then we move to Red Hood, written by the esteemed Gretchen Felker Martin.
I don't know who Gretchen is, but I do after this story.
Hmm.
I will remember this name. So out of this book, I don't know what it was, but this story right here, not only was the artwork absolutely captivating from the first page when you see it,
Hmm.
it reads like a detective crime noir from
Right.
like the 1920s. Like this,
Yep.
like the first bubble, like it just my brain turned on and I read it a very specific way after just getting to this page and hearing, I remember things now through a haze of blood and hunger. And then you have its image of Red Hood as a dog-like creature, or Batman's the alpha wolf. Red Hood, who's part of his pack, is also a dog. He's just sitting there eating a raccoon. He's eating another person,
Hmm.
essentially. And
Right.
I'm like, yo, this is about to be intense. The art is is wild. Some of the panels looks like you just kind of froze like a movie panel, like an animated feature film, and it's just on the page now.
Yeah, like the picture. I mean, they flash back to when Jason Todd was killed, as part of the Joker, which incidentally enough, they actually released the
Yeah,
semi facsimile. It's not really a reprint because they changed the pages from the original one.
yeah.
Um,
It's just the alternate ending to the death
exactly.
of Robin.
But yeah, this one definitely was. This one was kind of fun, and it kind of ends. It ends on a kind. I like the very last sentence of the story where we're all just animals eating each other, type of a
Mhm.
thing. It was really kind
So
of
it was
fun.
really just like a day in the life of Jason as this creature, thinking about his actions as a human, how he's killed countless people in the name of cleaning up Gotham. What purpose did it really serve? Did he ever truly believe he'd clean up Gotham, or was it all for self gratification? And then here he is doing it again with just like kind of riding in his own consciousness with this feral body doing it for him. And he does have a little fight with Ratcatcher in his apartment at the end for a brief second, and then he just takes back to the streets.
Yep, yep. And then we end with Huntress. Um,
No, there's one more after Huntress, even
oh, that's right. There is. There
Stephanie
is
Brown.
Stephanie Brown. You're right. I forgot
Huntress
about that
was
one.
super lame. She shows up on a politician. Sport gets in her. She turns into a cat. Batgirl shows up and starts shining a laser pointer and distracts her for like how many hours is it? 40 minutes later,
40
she's
minutes.
still
Yeah.
playing with her with a laser pointer.
Yes, because that's what you do with your pets is you make them chase after your laser pointer.
This story did not need to be included in this book for
No,
any reason.
no.
Was it
Um,
tongue in cheek funny? Yeah. Was it necessary? Absolutely not.
right. And then we get the final, you just said the spoiler, drawn by Kelly Jones, who has quite a resume with DC Comics and doing a lot of the horror, and he did some Swamp Thing stuff, but he probably I first noticed him when he was doing all the covers for Nightfall way back when, in Batman when Brain broke his back. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, this one was kind of the same, I thought, in some ways. Um, it wasn't necessarily that integral to anything that's going on, but it was pretty to look at. I like Kelly Jones' art.
Yeah. It was just Stephanie Brown showing up to a police scene where someone has broken into a Wayne Foundation food bank. It was cool to know that Bruce Wayne has countless food banks set up all around Gotham for mass emergency situations where the city can potentially get shut down. People will still be able to eat. But something is broken and they're afraid to go in. They go in and killer moth was it that was in there that has been turned into a cockroach. And Stephanie gets into a fight with him, then walks out with like cockroach green blood up to her knees. Like, hey, whoever y'all are calling to handle these things, call them and tell them that there's an animal to pick up, and this one may need medical assistance.
Right, exactly. Um, but yeah, overall, I think I mean, some of the stories, like you said, were kind of just. I mean, they weren't bad, but they
No,
weren't something
no.
that necessarily needed necessarily to be in there. Again, I think probably done in some ways. I think more to give up and coming writers, an opportunity to put out something with actual characters, for them. But and then in Action Comics 1060, we get the next Dreamer installment. So go ahead.
If you ever wondered what could potentially happen when two precogs get into a fight, wonder no more. We have it.
Mhm.
So if you watched last week's episode, you know that Amanda Waller has been watching Dreamer. We now know because of solicitations that this has to be playing into the upcoming new Suicide Squad run. She's slowly been recruiting ever since the Infinite Frontier era.
Mhm.
And looks like Dreamer is in her crosshairs. This is the follow-up to her installment in Tour Metropolis. And Dreamer gets the call from Amanda Waller. I have a rogue asset who's not shutting down. He's not stopping, and he has the ability to see 2 minutes into the future. We need you, Dreamer, to go shut him down because he will definitely see us coming, but you can see farther than him. She reluctantly agrees to go. They get into a fantastic altercation, beautiful art. It was just really fun, like the whole concept. So that was really cool to play out. She wins the fight. She wins. She gets out of there, and then Dr. Haight and Waller have a brief conversation about how you were happy with it. She shut him down and she left. And Waller points out, like, this was all a test. I've got her. She's mine. If she was willing to do me a favor for these low standards for like nothing on the line,
Hmm.
I can manipulate her to do anything.
Hmm.
So she is Amanda Waller's next asset.
Right. Exactly. And I enjoyed the story. It's obviously moving Dreamer as a chess piece from A to B, into the Suicide Squad, like you said, next year. But I actually really did enjoy this particular story. And the person who
Mhm.
wrote it is Steve Orlando, and I can't think of her other name now, something Maines. I can't think of her first name now. But she's going to be writing the new Suicide Squad come next March.
Is she going to
So
be writing it solo or tag
yes.
team writing it? Okay.
Nope, she's gonna be writing it solo. So, she's setting up her pieces where she needs them to be to be ready for the first issue. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Like it's
Anytime
in
they
good
put a
hands. If
Suicide
that's
Squad,
like a
yeah,
sign of things to come, that's all good signs so
right,
far.
exactly,
We'll be
exactly,
watching closely though, because I'm very pro Suicide Squad.
yes, exactly. So that actually is going to be it for this particular DC Comics deep dive. I'm trying to think of what comes out next. Next we have
Central
Central City
City.
and Nightwing, right?
Hmm.
I believe, are the next ones that come out, and then we'll end the month, or actually probably start the beginning of the next month. No, I guess we'll end the month with Titans Beast World #3.
And
So,
how many more Mondays are left in December? Just the
uh,
25th, just Christmas Day.
yeah, yep.
Then New Year's Day will be the episode after that. Nice holiday episodes for the next two to
Hey,
come.
woo, woohoo! I love that. Don't
Hmm.
forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Don't forget to comment. Tell us how we're doing. Like Mark said, unless you don't like it, in which case there's plenty of other channels out there.
Yes, but
But
go watch them only after suffering through
exactly, you
allergies.
can still watch this thing. You can watch this thing, not like it, and go to the next thing.
Hmm.
Um, but that's going to be it. I'm Paul. He is Mark.
Oh, you were on a good streak for so
I
long, but
was,
we are Legion.
and you are now leaving Sector 28.